Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to today's beekeeping lesson. Before we move into a new topic, let us quickly refresh and memorize the key areas we have already studied in beekeeping. This helps you connect every concept as one complete system. We have already learned that the definition of beekeeping, the historical background of beekeeping, and the role of beekeeping in agriculture and human life. We also studied the type of beekeeping system, the taxonomy, and the classification of bees and anatomy also. The anatomy of honeybee colony and individual bee structure. In addition, we covered the foraging behavior of bees, including how bees search for nectar in the pollen and the dancing behavior of bees. To find this resource, as we have seen in previous short videos, bee dances to collect, to communicate, uh, and to tell the source of the nectar. This helps us to communicate for food source location. We also discussed colony management practices, colony inspection, and apiary site management before and during production. All these topics form the foundation of practical beekeeping. Now, with this foundation, we are ready to understand one of the most important scientific concepts. The official definition of honey, according to international standards, is our today specific topic. We focused on this topic for our today learning and the teaching process. So, understanding this is not just theory. It helps you produce honey that meets global quantity requirements. This is a very important for small beekeepers and both for commercial beekeepers. So, if you conceptualized these topics in a short, you will be competent for global honey market. So, honey is not just a sweet product, a sweet product. It is a natural biological transformation created by honeybees. And different organizations define it in a very precise scientific language. According to the Codex Alimentarius, honey is defined as the natural sweet substance produced by honeybees from the nectar of plants or from the secretion of living parts of plants or even from excretion of plant sucking insects on living plant parts. There are different insects which arrived on a plant leaves to suck their secretion. So these we collect these materials and then transform them by adding their own specific substance, especially enzymes. After collection, they deposit, dehydrate, store in the keep it inside honeycomb, where it ripens and mature into what we recognize as honey. This definition highlights something very important. Honey is not simply collected. It is processed inside the bee colony through biological activity until it becomes stable, mature, and ready for consumption. Now, according to the European Union, AU, definition, honey is also described as a natural sweet substance, but it gives more specific biological detail. It states that honey is produced by Apis mellifera bees from nectar of plants, from plant secretions, or from excretion of plant-sucking insects on plant. This bee collects these substances and transforms them using their own enzymes and natural processes. They then deposit it into honeycomb, where it is dehydrated, stored, and left to ripen and mature. The AU definition emphasizes the role of Apis mellifera, the western honeybee, and clearly describes honey as a product of enzymatic transformation and controlled dehydration inside the hive. When we compare both definitions, we clearly see one central idea. Honey is not raw nectar, right? It is a biochemical transformed substance. Bees are not just collectors, they are natural processors. They reduce moisture, add enzymes, and store it until it becomes stable and long lasting. For a beekeeper, this understanding is very important because it means your responsibility is not only to harvest honey, but to ensure that bees have the right condition to properly ripen each side the comb. Proper nectar flow, strong colonies, and correct hive management all contribute to meeting these international standards. If you learned something valuable from this lesson, do not forget the knowledge grows when it is shared. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with fellow beekeepers and learners. Your support helps us bring more practical and scientific beekeeping lessons like this one. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next lesson. Stay connected and keep learning better beekeeping every day. Thanks so much.